Hi everyone, welcome to our next mushroom video from this little cute page from Small Victories by Johanna Basford. We'll be using our Polychromos pencils today to do this little bundle of mushrooms. Let's come in and have a little look. Now looking at these, I really quite would like to do them orange. We have done another orange mushroom, but these will be a little bit different, I think, because we used a few darker browns and things which I'm not going to be using this time. I'm going to start with the orange glaze, and I'm going to do all of them orange, so I'm going to do all of them at the same time, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to start with some orange glaze on each edge like this. It's a little bit difficult to know what to do with these circles. Now the spots, they aren't raised really off the mushroom, or else we would see them coming up on the top. So but it is quite fun to colour them as if they're slightly raised, but I think we may not. We might just keep them quite straightforward. There's not much going to be there. Now I'm going to use a lighter orange. This is the cadmium orange, and I'm going to go over what I've done already and then just bring the orange nearer to the centre. Now, there we go, just working through. A little tip for you, I find that as I go through I get a little bit scruffier, so my first mushroom is always my neatest. So what I'm going to do with my next colour, which is my dark chrome yellow, is start down here, and hope that by doing that I might negate the sort of neatness thing. This bit will be neatest, you know, and so if some layers are neater on that one, some on the first one, by the end they might look equivalent. And you might not find that's the case with you. It might be reversed, perhaps. You know, you might find that as you practice, you get neater, so the ones later are neater. I think I just sort of, the first one is my test where I take my time, sort of speed up with the rest, so that's my problem. And obviously not everyone is the same. Right, there are our quite simple mushrooms. I rather like the simplicity. I'm just going to keep that page from moving. Now the little circles on them. I'm wondering whether to do them in a darker orange or whether that's going to look a little bit strange. I think I'm going to try it. This is the dark cadmium orange, and I'm going to try it on here. Wait and see if you like it before you copy. I'm not going to put down tons, just like a little orange mark on them, leaving a bit of the white showing. Not sure. I'm going to take it to the edge, because these ones that go right to the edge need a bit more. And I'm going to just make it a bit darker at the bottom. Okay, there's some clunking on my heatings coming on. That's what it is. Husband got very worried going to work today because the heating was making a strange noise. For the gill part, I'm going to use a brown. I think this one. This is the Van Dyck, that's what I thought. yeah, it sounded like there was water running through the boiler, and so we checked all the house, make sure no taps were running, anything like that, and there was nothing. And he was quite worried that we had a burst pipe. Checked the garage because we have a sink in the garage. I'm going to just make it a bit dark around here, nothing. And then just as suddenly as it started, it stopped, and it was all fine. So hopefully it's all fine. I said I would keep a listen out for it, and I haven't noticed it yet today, so I'm sure it is fine. Luckily we have a plumber who lives just up the road. Well, he's sort of up on the main road, very close, 5 minutes walk close, and he is usually available to pop over, maybe at the end of the day or whatever, and help out. Now, stems, I'm thinking, do I do a brown? Do I do a grey? I think I'm going to start with the grey, a very light grey, and then decide if I want some brown. So this is the warm grey 2, so it's very pale, but it's got a slight brownish hint, which I think is needed to go with these brown based gills. And I'm just gently putting some colour through. And I'm thinking maybe because they're bent, we might put a bit of sort of shadow on there. It's quite difficult with them being so slim, but I think we can do it if we're careful. So I'm just going to choose this pencil. Maybe not. Hang on. That's the one I want. There's the one I want. The bistre. And I'm going to sharpen it so it's very sharp. Okay, so here it is, bistre. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit on here and here, so sort of the lowest edge where there might be some shadow, like that. Same on this one. And then on this one, the lower edge is here. Like that. Now this tall one, I'm not sure, I think I might put a bit on each side if I can. It's a little bit fiddly, but you can do it. Just try and breathe, unlike me, I'm holding my breath. There we go. I'm going to put a bit of shadow under there too. Let's have a look. Now I've noticed where they are touching the gill part here and here and here, it's quite white, and I think that's just me not colouring properly, so I'm going to grab my warm grey 2 again and just fill that in, because I don't want them to be white because there will be shadow up there. So I'm just going to go over that a little bit to make sure there's no white. There we are. Now our grass and leaves, I'm not going to do them both the same colour. I'm going to use the earth green yellowish for the grass. I feel like it's quite a nice pale, but the warmth of the colour works, I think, with these warm oranges and things. So just colour that in. Now we've got some tufts here, so I'm going to draw a few on. Tempting to put a few over here as well. Yeah, and now our little leaves, they're quite small, aren't they? We want a colour which sort of works together with our colour scheme. I can't get hold of this one. This is the olive green yellowish. I'm going to give it a sharpen. Here you go, olive green yellowish. And I'm going to do the very base of the leaf in quite an intense amount, quite dark. Keep putting your colour over and over it. Leave the tip pale because I'm going to use another colour for the tip. So lots of layers here and less. So that I've actually done, it says none on the tip, but it's not always that easy. So just make sure it's dark at the base, and that's all that really matters. And then I'm going to grab the May green and finish them off with this. I'm going to go over the whole thing because I think the May green adds a lovely warmth, and a layer on top will just do that to the whole thing. But I am just going to add one final touch, which is this dark cadmium orange, and I'm going to put a tiny bit on the tip of each leaf. Just to partly, it might look like they're reflecting the colour of mushrooms, but it just ties it all together, and I think it makes it a little more interesting. And then I'm going to get my jelly roll, and what I'm going to do is these circles, I'm going to get rid of them. I want to soften those edges. I think it will just improve the look. Now I know some people do this on the whole of their page, and they cover the whole thing over with a gesso. Is that what you call it? Gesso? Gesso. And so you can barely see the white lines through, and then colour over the top. Now that does give a very different look, a much softer look, but I have tried it in various ways to eliminate the black lines, and I find it tricky in a number of ways. Firstly, you can't really see the lines, so staying in the lines or trying to work out what's going on with the picture can be really difficult. But also colouring over the top of white paint of any description can be quite tricky, and it doesn't always completely eliminate it, so you sometimes just see a bit coming through, which you can with these. And it depends what effect you're going for as to whether that is something that you want in your picture. I've just done that for a bit of fun to make it look a little bit different, and maybe it now looks like they've got measles. I'm not sure, but anyway. You don't have to copy it. If you've done it and you don't like it, just go take your darker orange right out to the edge. It might chip off, oh excuse me, it might chip off some of the white paint, but wait for it to dry and see how you go. But there are our orange mushrooms. So we've got one row left. It's been a fun little page. I hope you are enjoying it as much as I am. Thank you very much for watching. Hoping that you have a really super day, and happy colouring.